Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Oh, the Illblurmatic.
Welcome back to Illblurmatic, the illest blur in the land. Today's new video is going to be on Hawkeye episode 2, Hide and Seek. Welcome back to the channel, supporters, new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. Let's get right into it. So this episode starts off with kind of like maybe like a little bit of a recap where we see pretty much Hawkeye, also known as Clint, confront Kate Bishop. And it's awkward, you know what I'm saying? She's finally meeting the man that she idolizes, that saved her life as a kid. And literally, he's like, hey, what are you doing in this costume? You know, Ronin's costume. And, you know, you can tell Kate Bishop's a little nervous, kind of like doesn't know what to say. You know, meeting your hero, or someone that you idolize, you can see that she's a little kind of nervous. And, you know, he's like, what did you do in the suit? You know, we see the exchange between them meeting each other, which is really cool. I like that we see that. And, you know, they end up going back to Kate's place where she lives. And we can see that Clint is also impressed by Kate's trophy. Seems like she's very good at about everything. Archery, martial arts, all these different things. We also see the dog that she feeds pizza. I think the dog is pretty much going to have a name eventually in the episode. Maybe the next episode. But we see the dog there. And Clint explaining who these people are that are after Kate Bishop. And they're known as the Tracksuit Mafia. I thought that was funny. I was like, what? The Tracksuit Mafia? I was like, what type of name is that? But literally, they are in tracksuits. So that's the funny thing about this episode. We see them literally in tracksuits. But we also know that pretty much he said, hey, by the way, you know, we're at your place where you live. Do they know where you live? Because the thing is, if they find out where you live, they're going to come here too. And we can understand that too. We see, you know, like I said, Kate eventually confessing that she had got the suit from an auction from a black market bid. And literally, you know, they eventually make it to Kate's location with Hawkeye there, also known as Clint. And now they're throwing Molotovs through the window. And I love, like, with this scene, we see, like, literally, Clint, also known as Hawkeye, throw one back out the window. Like, the guy threw one in the window. They're Tracksuit Mafia, and he threw one back. Like, that, I don't know if that was a one-take type of thing. If it was, that's incredible. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes when they do scenes for TV shows and even movies, sometimes that's, like, more than one take. It's not like a first take or second take or third take. But I thought that was really interesting. Kate has to relocate right along with Clint. But before Clint could do that, Clint has to see about his kids because Clint is a family man. He has 3 kids. So he eventually tells Kate, he said, hey, look, well, I'll get in contact with you, but I have to take care of some business because he had made a promise to his 3 kids that he was going to spend Christmas with them. And we see that eventually he comes across the kids, the son, he's like, okay, like, hey, dad, I gotta go, the oldest son. Then you had the daughter. The daughter is like, dad, I know you back doing the hero thing. She kind of has her speculations on her dad doing that, which I thought was really interesting, by the way. But we did see that as well, you know. But I was like, wow, you know, him being a family man, trying to balance it out. And we see the youngest son. He's like, hey, where's the youngest? You know what I'm saying? Kind of being mischief. He's the youngest kid, okay? And he sends them away. But before he sends them away, he calls the wife. And she's like, hey, are you going to spend time like you said you were with the kids on Christmas? And he said, I'm going to try to get this taken care of, this situation that he's in. And literally, we see that. Next, in this episode, we see Kate go to his mother's corporation that she owns. It's like a security kind of corporation. And pretty much we come across Kate just bum rushing her way into her mother's office, a business. And who's there? The soon-to-be fiance, Chris. Oh my God. Chris is a trip, yo. We can see that Kate is not happy to see that Chris is there ever since she found out that he was trying to marry her mother, she ain't been happy about that. Okay? She's like, you can tell in her face, like, she's just not happy to see him there. But also, we see another problem looming. Like, she's trying to tell her mother some things, and they're kind of having a disagreement about stuff. And literally, her mother was worried about her. She's like, Kate, where were you that night and stuff? I'm like, you don't want to tell her. You don't want to tell her. And she's like, well, I got away safely and stuff. Her mother's being the worried mother that she is. But also in this episode, we see that they had to go back to get the Ronin suit. I forgot to mention, the Ronin suit was at Kate's home. Literally, Kate had to relocate to her aunt's house that's out of town. But also, we see that pretty much Hawkeye go as a civilian to figure out where the suit is. When he gets to the place, the suit is nowhere to be found. And now he has to find out what happened to the suit. And he did an online search. And he found out that the suit is now in hands of some kid that's into like medieval or Renaissance festival type of thing. And I love when he goes there and they're like, and it's very awkward because you can tell he's looking around like, what in the crap is this? Everybody dressed up like a medieval type of stuff. And, he's not really feeling it. It's like, well, in order for you to be a part of this, and, he eventually gets his way. He goes to the desk of admissions and he figured out some type of way to get them to like persuade him to some degree. And I'm just like, oh boy. He goes in, he's fighting all these people, fake fighting. I love how they use so much roar. I was like, oh my God, y'all. It was so funny because he comes across the kid with the Ronin costume. And we see the exchange, you know what I'm saying? And the kid's like, yo, you're Hawkeye. Just call me Clutch. And we see the exchange. The kid say, look, man, all I want you to do is just fake fight me. Fake fight me. Pretend that you lost. You know what I'm saying? And I'll give you the suit. Excuse me. And literally, Clint did as the kid promised. The kid gave him the suits. And literally, he learned about him. He said, hey, just call me Clint. He's just like, hey, don't call me Hawkeye. We don't need too many people to know that I'm an Avenger, right? So I did like that aspect of it. He gets the suit back. On top of that, he ends up meeting up with Kate again. Literally, we're not meeting up with Kate. Kate ends up, literally, to some degree, ends up meeting with her mom. Clint ends up meeting with the Tracksuit Mafia. They end up kidnapping him. But before that, Kate is at dinner with her mom and her soon-to-be husband, Chris. And we can see that there's some tension with them. We see Kate saying, like, he's the one that probably killed his uncle, Erman the Seventh. And, and it's definitely some, he's the one that purchased the blade that killed Erman from the previous episode. So yeah, there's definitely some suspects within him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he probably did because him and his uncle weren't on the best of terms, and Kate noticed it when she saw the auction that they were having in the black market. And her mother's like, no, Chris is not like that, defending his name and stuff. And pretty much Chris and Kate Bishop have a duel with swords. You know what I'm saying? And I thought it was really interesting. Fencing. That's what it is. Fencing. And I was like, oh, okay. We see them getting it in. And, Kate's like, he's still hiding something. And, we see eventually Kate probably just end up leaving from dinner after that. And pretty much, with pretty much Hawkeye being kidnapped by the Tracksuit Mafia. And I love how he's getting interrogated. And it's like, do you know who this person is? And he's just like, I don't know who you talking about. I don't know who that person is. Just lying. He just capping. But I can respect it. You know what I'm saying? I like, that he defended Kate. Their relationship in this episode, like a mentor, someone that she adored. I really like that in this episode. But before that, we see Kate recklessly saves Hawkeye, also known as Clint. And it was so funny when she tried to rescue him. She ends up need to be saved too, pretty much. She gets tied up. He's tied up. And he's like kind of amazed that she came to his rescue. You know what I'm saying? Also, we see the Tracksuit Mafia people, trying to interrogate both of them. And then towards the end, we see one of the Tracksuit Mafias go to the head boss. And it's like, oh, snaps. And the head boss, she's so jazzy and so cool. She's like listening to music. She's like, what are you doing here? And pretty much like, get out. She gave that guy the look like, get out of here. I gotta say, I really like this episode. We saw the relationship growing between Kate Bishop and Hawkeye, them, becoming, I guess you could say sidekick, hero. Also, I like that we learned a little bit more about the Tracksuit Mafia, you know what I'm saying? The boss showed up at the very end. I was like, we gotta wait till the next episode to see who the boss lady really is. Look like she's someone probably from Clint's past, and I forgot to mention, Clint never mentioned that he was Ronin, you know what I'm saying? Because he remember when Kate asked him about, what are you doing in the suit? Did you kill anybody and all that stuff? He never mentioned that he was Ronin, so he's hiding that from Kate. And it kind of sucks, man, because I think eventually she's going to find out that he was Ronin, But like I said, the episode was really good. We saw them come together, them trying to figure out who killed Uncle Ermin. And I think it's definitely her soon-to-be her mother's fiance that killed him. He has a motive, you know what I'm saying? He's definitely suspect material. Like I said, the story's engaging. I'm glad the first episode focused on Kate Bishop. This episode focused on the relationship between Kate Bishop and Hawkeye, and just him getting the suit back and everything. But like I said, until next time, guys, have a great one. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for commenting. Until next time, guys, have a great day, and I'm out.